Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from richard-mcmunn.com, and during this presentation I'm going to teach you stage one in the process of how to write a book. Now, for the last few years I have generated over £4 million from writing and publishing my own books, so this presentation, which won't last too long, is going to be invaluable in helping you to become a best-selling self-published author. So make sure you've got a pen and a piece of paper to write down the important tips that I'm going to share with you throughout the duration. So during step one of the writing and book publishing process, I'm going to talk to you about choosing a book idea. So that's choosing a genre, choosing a niche for your book, and this is a stage that I always follow when I sit down to write my book. I follow step one, and it's important that you get the idea right, because as you can understand, you're going to put a lot of effort into writing your book, and what we don't want to happen is for you to put in all of that effort and then the book doesn't sell when you publish it. And there are a number of safeguards that you can put in place, and I'll teach you how to do them to guarantee virtually your book selling. Now, as I mentioned, over the last few years I've made in excess of £4 million. I've been a #1 best-selling author numerous times, and that's because I follow a simple process which I'm going to teach you. So the first step is choosing the book idea. So we need to start right at the beginning. So we need to think about the genre of book that you're going to publish. Now, when I first started thinking about self-publishing, I sat down and I wrote down everything that I knew in my life. So basically, before I started writing and publishing books, I worked in the fire service. I was a firefighter for Kent Fire and Rescue Service. I basically had 3 GCSEs. Before the fire service, I'd worked in the Royal Navy, and I was a little bit of an expert at recruitment. So that was basically helping people to get into jobs, and it's something that I had done for a number of years in the fire service, and therefore it made perfect sense for me to write books on careers, basically self-help books to teach people how to get into specific jobs. There was no reason why I should have authored a novel or a fiction book, because I had no desire to. Now, of course, you might want to write a novel or a fiction book, but what is important is that you have a level of passion for what you are doing, because that will come across in the content and customers will buy more books from you. So I'm very passionate about helping people. That's what I love to do. So I write books that help people, and I've done it for a number of years now. I've been extremely successful at it, and I know that I'll still be doing it in 5 or 10 years time because I am passionate about it. So write that down at the top of your piece of paper. Passion. You have to have a passion for what you're writing about. We also want to make sure that we position you as an expert in your field, because once you position yourself as an expert, customers and readers will want to buy more books from you. So if you do the first book successfully, then they will want to come back for more and more. So we need to think carefully about the genre. Now, when you choose your genre, what I recommend you do, and please write this down, is when I've finished the presentation, go to Amazon and have a look at the different book categories that are on Amazon. Now, I can guarantee that you will sell the vast majority of your books on Amazon. Therefore, we have to look at the different categories that are on Amazon. So what I've done here is just list a number of the different genres and categories that are available on Amazon. Now, this is just a small selection of them. Now, this is all part of the best-selling process. So we want you to become a best-selling author. So we have to make sure that we pitch the category correctly. So I've been a best-selling author more than 117 times since I've started. I've also become a #1 bestseller numerous occasions, and that's because not only do I write really good books, I create brilliant book design covers, but I also make sure that I categorize my book in the correct area. So just take a look at these different areas, and as I say, these are just a sample of different categories that you can choose from: self-help, motivational books, careers, that's the market I'm in, business, startup and advice, fiction, erotic fiction, drama, children's books, which is a massive market, cooking and food related books, health and fitness. So think about the different niche or different area that you want to get into. Now, some people might be listening to this thinking, but I don't know what book I want to write about at the moment. That's okay, bear with me, I'm going to help you as I go through the presentation. So let's have a look at what sells and why the book sells. So we need to understand as authors what our readers and our customers want from us. If we deliver that to them, they will buy our books in droves. So whenever I sit down to write a book, I always think carefully about what the reader wants, and then I give it to them. So basically my books focus on being insider. So when I write about careers, I make sure that I write from an insider's perspective. If I don't know the information, I go out there and get it. For example, I wanted to write a book a few years ago about becoming a train driver, quite a big market. And I didn't know about the information of how to pass, so I actually went through the selection process myself to find out. So that makes me the insider. So any kind of book that has inside information will sell. Any kind of book that gives people the advantage. So we want to give people the advantage over other people. If you can give people the advantage, then your book will sell. Books with regards to property. Lots of people want to get into property, especially the buy-to-let market. Now, there are quite a few books out there on that already, but there's massive demand for it. Books which focus on continuous improvement. So people always want to continually improve in their personal development, whether that's NLP or otherwise, and if you can provide them with a great book on that subject, it will sell. Mystery and thriller books sell exceptionally well. Remember the 50 Shades of Grey books? And also books with regards to erotic fiction. Believe it or not, erotic fiction is an absolute huge market on Amazon. Now, Amazon is a family-friendly website, and it does not share on its homepage the fact that it does sell a lot of erotic fiction books. Next time you're on Amazon, go into the books category and type in erotic fiction in the search bar and see how many books come up. You'll be amazed at how highly these books rank. Fitness books. Now, fitness books are great, but you have to choose a particular niche and genre within the fitness book category. It's no good just doing a book on how to get fit. It won't sell because there's so much competition out there. You have to come up with a specific niche. For example, how to do 100 press-ups in 5 weeks or something like that. You have to have a specific genre. Books with regards that help people to save money, they sell well. And also books such as like the Harry Potter series, obviously they sell really well too. Now there's a triangle here in the middle. Now this is called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Some people watching this will be aware of that. But if you are sitting down to write a non-fiction book, then we need to think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now what I'm going to do is come on to that in 1 second. So some people ask me about writing fiction or non-fiction books. I don't write fiction books, I write non-fiction, but if you're interested in writing fiction books, take this statistic down. Write it down. Of the people who buy at least one book a year, 8 out of 10 people buy a fiction book. It's a massive market, and the best-selling fiction books are mystery, crime and thriller. Okay, so that's for people who are interested in writing fiction books. Now, just because 8 out of 10 people buy a fiction book, it doesn't mean to say non-fiction don't sell. They do sell. My particular market, which is careers, is actually relatively small, but I've still made millions of pounds from writing books in that particular non-fiction niche. So, Maslow's hierarchy of needs that I just spoke about. Now, basically, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a useful triangle to look at if you are writing a non-fiction book. Now, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is basically a triangle which depicts what we need as human beings in order to get on in life and achieve self-actualization, which is basically achieving our full potential. Okay, so it starts off at the bottom and it talks about physiological needs, which obviously we need to breathe, we need to have food, water, shelter, clothing and sleep. Safety and security, we all need health and employment, etc. And as we move up the triangle, we get to the top and we self-actualize. We realize our meaning and inner potential. Now, the reason why I've put this up, because as authors of non-fiction books, this is quite useful. So if you have an idea for a book, you can go to my website, which is below this YouTube video. Just click the link, and on that page I'll give you this Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a diagram, and you can have a look at it and see if your book idea falls into the category. If it does, it has a better chance of selling, but it's because what we need to have as individuals. So if we need these kind of things, then there is a better chance that your customers will buy them. So for example, physiological needs. Cooking and survival books, that's why they do really well, because we need that as individuals. Safety and security, this is the reason why my career related books sell so well. Health, employment, property, family and social stability. Love and belonging, relationship books are books which are around relationship with regards to friendship, family, intimacy and a sense of connection. Self-esteem, motivational books, and then right at the top of the peak, self-development books. Now for those people, if we think about Facebook and how often we use Facebook as individuals, some people are really surprised at how successful it's been. For example, I could post a picture on there of my dog and I will get 100 likes on it. And what is all that about? Well, it's all about the sense of connection. We all need a sense of connection as human beings, and that's why Facebook has been so popular. Now for those people who are listening and watching this presentation who want to write fiction books, that is why they sell so well, is because of a sense of connection. The reader needs to have a connection with the characters within the book. Okay, so Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a useful tool in coming up with book ideas. Now here's some markets to avoid. Basically oversaturated markets. I've already spoken about those with regards to fitness books. Fitness books are massive, okay? There's lots of demand, but you have to have something unique, and it needs to be a book which is about a specific topic within the entire genre. Book markets to avoid with regards to where there is no search traffic, and I'll quickly talk about that in a second. Books and markets which are too cheap, so you don't want to sell your books too cheap because they won't sell unless they are fiction books. Now fiction books sell better if they are cheaply priced. Books that are too expensive, now my career related books sell for around about 13 or 15 pounds, okay, and they sell really well. I do not sell any books for less than 10 pounds, never. I don't, in the non-fiction market. And also obviously poor quality books, we need to avoid those at all costs. Let's quickly look at ideas for books where there is low traffic. Now this page is called the Google Keyword Planner. Again, if you click the link below the video, I'll provide you a link on that page where you can go to this Google Keyword Planner. Now this is a useful tool in our armory as authors. Now we need this, okay, especially with regards to non-fiction books. So what I can do is I can actually type into the search bar here, and it will tell me approximately on average how many people are searching for a particular subject or information on Google. Okay, now of course you're going to be selling most of your books on Amazon, but Amazon and Google are interlinked because Amazon advertises on Google, and if people are searching for information on Google, you can guarantee they're going to be searching in their droves the same amount on Amazon. So I recently authored a book which is called How to Write a Book. Now before I started writing this book, I wanted to think about the title, so I'm typing in there how to write a book, and Google is going to tell me there, you can see it there highlighted, that on average there's 5,400 people a month searching for that. Okay, therefore it made sense for me to call my book How to Write a Book. So you can use this and play around with it, so you can type in to the top there your product or service, and it will give you different ideas of what people are searching for. So these are your customers. Now there's also a handy graph there, so if you just hover your mouse over the top of it, it will tell you a month by month breakdown on when people are searching. So you can see with regards to this graph that the majority of people, there's more searches, about 1,200 extra searches in January. So that tells me in January more people are searching for the subject how to write a book. That tells me then if I'm doing any marketing strategies, I can really push my book forward during that specific time or period. So hopefully that will make sense, and that's why we need to focus on using the Google Keyword Planner tool when we are looking for book titles and book subject ideas, especially with regards to non-fiction books. So don't forget, when I finish the presentation, click the link below this video and I will give you a link direct to where you can get that from. So creating your book ideas. I still believe that there are still thousands and thousands of book ideas out there, and most of them are right under your nose. So ask yourself this question. I'm going to give you a little form in a second which I want you to do after the presentation. It's a little exercise which will help you to come up with different book ideas. Ask yourself the question, what do I know? Now I asked that question to myself when I first started writing, publishing books. And obviously I knew about getting into the fire service, I knew about joining Royal Navy, I also know about recruitment, so therefore it made sense for me to write books on how to get into those specific careers. Now you could also ask yourself the question, what do other people that I know? So for example, what about your partner? What does your partner know? Have they got any knowledge or information? What about people in your family? Have they got any information that you can tap into to help you write a book? Then write a list of potential books. Then do some research using the Google Keyword Planner tool, which I've just shown you, and you're going to go to the link below this video at the end of the presentation to find out more. And then think about the content of your book, because you have to provide really good content. The reason why is because there's so much free content out there on the internet today. You have to make sure that your book is invaluable with regards to the content you provide. So this is my book ideas generation form, and write these down. What do I know? What am I good at? I'm good at helping people. I'm good at helping people to publish their books. So therefore it made sense for me to write a book on how to write a book. Do people ever ask you for advice? So ask yourself that question. Have people ever come up to you and said, can you help me with this? And if there is a recurring theme where people keep asking you all the time for help on a specific subject, there may be a good book idea there for you. What qualifications do you have? For example, I coached someone a couple of years ago who had a master's degree in mathematics, and I coached him to write a book on how to pass GCSE mathematics. He became a #1 best-selling author because he had the qualifications, therefore he had the expertise in that particular genre. What am I passionate about? Now, I'm passionate about helping people to write their books and also to get into a specific job. The reason why we want you to be passionate about your book subject is because we want you to last for many years as an author, and we want you to self-publish lots and lots of books. Now also, this is a good one, what is topical right now? Ask yourself the question. So set out your action plan. You need to have an action plan for writing a book. Now, if you are going to write a 200-page book, you could set yourself a target of, say, 6 pages a day. Okay, 6 pages a day, and then within a month you will have almost a 200-page book. That's what I do. If I want to write a book which is 100 pages long, then I set myself a target of a minimum of 3 pages a day, and within a month I have finished my book. Give yourself a definitive time frame and stick to it. 3 pages for 3 pages a day for a month. You can do that. And then you need to prepare yourself for the typesetting, the barcode, the artwork, and the book printing, and also getting it ready for Kindle. Now on that note, I still publish lots of books in printed format. You will generally find that if you are going to publish a non-fiction book, it will sell more in physical format. If you're going to do a fiction book, then it will sell more in regards to Kindle and EPUB. Now, if you are watching this and you are still stuck for ideas, don't worry, I can help you. Ask yourself the question, what is hot right now? Now, this is a few years old now, this book, but the 50 Shades of Grey was a massive selling book, okay, and it still sells really well today. It was a #1 New York Times bestseller. But what you will have noticed when this book came out and it was published, lots of authors and self-publishers jumped on the bandwagon. There was lots of copycat books which came out there on similar topics, and they were still really big sellers. So think about what is topical, what is hot. Look out, go to different bookstores, look on Amazon, see what topics are out there, and then you could potentially write a book on a similar topic or niche. Here's another example. Read the newspapers. Okay, so I go into my local coffee shop in Tunbridge Wells in England, where I live, and I sit there a few times a week and I read the papers because I want to be kept informed and abreast of what's going on in the world, but I also want to look out for opportunities. Here was an example. In the Telegraph there was a page, and British Airways were going to recruit 800 pilots. Now immediately I thought to myself, that's an idea for a book. So I'm going to publish a book on how to become an airline pilot. But of course I didn't have any information on that, but I didn't see that as a barrier. I went out there and I found a serving pilot to write a book for me on how to become a pilot. Now of course you're going to say, yeah, but Richard, how do you find a pilot to write a book? There's lots of different ways that you could do that. You could go on a chat forum for pilots and post a message on there. Say that you're looking for somebody to help you write a book. Please message me, and then what you can do is you can publish it for them, because you're going to learn the entire publishing process and you can share the profits. That is essentially what publishers do. They find authors and then they share the profits. They give them they give them a royalty rate, and everybody's happy. Okay, so that's the entire publishing process that you're going to learn. So that's the stage one for finding and developing book ideas. I'm sure you found that useful. What I'd like you to do now is to click the link below this video on YouTube and go to my website, richard-mcmunn.com, and I'll provide you with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and also where to get the Google Keyword Planner so that you can start doing some important research on creating really good book ideas. Thank you very much for watching.